How's it, Godzilla fans, kaiju fans, collectors, and just general people of YouTube? This is Chanzilla1964 coming back to you with another figure review. This time we're going to be reviewing the brand new released Bandai Movie Monster series JIGER figure from Gamera Rebirth. That's right, the Queen Mother herself. We have JIGER in all of her awesome purple-red glory. So jumping right into the review, starting off with detail, I'm going to save the best for last, which is the head. But the detail on this figure is just amazing, from her five-toed web-clawed feet to this little dew claw over here on her forearms. And then you got this bump detail going on the top side of her body over here, which is very nicely done. And what looks like to be quills popping up over here, which I guess is precursors to this, the fin sail. Which, starting off with that, it's very nicely detailed with the very bottoms of the quills, or the spines, being very nicely done. And then the spines themselves, I mean, just, they look amazing with this little barbed point over here too. I especially love that little detail they have for this design for JIGER. But the bumps continue all the way down the tip of the tail, and it kind of fades off over here. As what does the quill detail. Keeps going over here too. The hind legs for JIGER over here, we got some very nice muscle detail, and there's a four-toe clawed webbed feet over here too for the hind legs, which are positioned in a very nice kind of cat-like pose, which I'm really liking over here. No dew claw. The tip of the tail kind of ends in this poison sac thing, I guess you can call it, with some very nice detail over here. I'm loving the detail on the tip of the tail. And the spike that JIGER has. Except in this incarnation, the spike is not going to be inside of the tail, whereas it was in the Showa series, which I'm digging it because it adds a lot of character to the design. Coming to the other side of JIGER, got the same detail. The same very nice fin detail over here too. And the underside of her is especially nicely done. We got the belly detail over here, the muscular belly detail over here. And then you got the chest, which is, I really like the chest. I mean, it just looks, the amount of detail and how it's going to fit in for this scowl in the series, I'm not too sure, but I'm loving it. And this reminds me of the male Muto's belly in the Bandai Movie Monster series line when he came out. So it's interesting. It's also interesting that her belly's kind of big. But if you know JIGER's origin, or her first incarnation in the Showa series, then you can kind of understand where I'm going there with her belly being kind of large. But let's wait to see for the show, because I'm not going to speculate or assume anything at this time. Saving the best for last, we have JIGER's head, which, I mean, it's the shining piece for this design and this figure, in my opinion. Her head is huge. It takes up like a good third of her body, not including the tail. Starting off with the plates back here, the kind of triceratop like plates going on over here, they're very nicely done, and I'm loving the detail on it, as well as how they added the whole raised portions over here, how it looks layered. I mean, it's crazy looking and I'm loving it. JIGER's face is done very well with her eyebrow over here, then all the creases unfold to her face. Her nostrils are done very well, and her chin, I wouldn't consider this a butt chin, but it's something going on with JIGER's chin this time around. Individually sculpted teeth are done very nicely. On the inside of JIGER's mouth, you have her tongue, as well as roof of the mouth detail. Let's see if the camera will focus. Yep. But JIGER's spikes, which is going to be one of the main things for JIGER, I feel that a lot of people notice, are very, very nicely done with all the indents and the notches for the spike. I mean, they look great. And then you got the secondary spikes over here, done very nicely. A cool detail about JIGER is that in the trailer, we see that she has a third eye, and the third eye is included here. I will cover that in paint though. But yeah, detail for JIGER is off the charts, amazing. Moving on to paint for this girl. Paint is very nicely done. There's some left to be desired, but the paint that we do get, like this beautiful silver blue paint, I'm loving it, and I look forward to seeing it on other figures in the future, possibly Gigan 2004 Chainsaw Gigan, throwing it out there, Bandai. But yeah, the paint is done very nicely, and this, like I said, this color is, I am loving this color. Then again, I'm just biased because I do love blue. You find it on the horns, the top of the head where the eyeball is, and I think that might just be leak over from this horn. The tips of her spines, and that's about it. The underside of the belly is colored this really nice sandy kind of yellow color, and then you're gonna have JIGER's eyes, which are painted this really nice red with the pupils done very nicely. And that's it for paint. Oh, the teeth are colored silver, this pretty silver color too. But the places where I wish there were more paint would be her little nubs over here and the tip of her tail. But I mean, it's Bandai. At this point, I'm kind of used to it, where it's like there's gonna be some paint missing here and here. How hard would it have been to paint here? I'm not sure, but yeah. I was looking at the trailers too, and it looks like the whole sail was painted. If anything, even though if this is anything to speak to Godzilla's back spines, this ain't too bad, because I mean, just the color contrast and the use of color here makes it look perfectly fine and natural. I'm happy they painted the tips of it. I just wish it kind of maybe went all the way down, or at least all the way back up to like here to here. Silver tips would have been perfect. But what we do have for JIGER and what it is right now, I think is amazing, and I really don't mind the lack of paint on those areas. So paint, I'd say, is really nice on this figure. Moving on to articulation. For JIGER, articulation might be the downfall for this figure, where it doesn't leave much play value, even though there's one articulation point that I was not expecting. JIGER's back legs move, and then JIGER's tail moves, which this was the one I wasn't expecting. Besides that, there's a glue seal here and here. Neither move, and I wouldn't recommend breaking this because I don't think this moves, or this is supposed to move. But that's about it for JIGER's articulation. Yeah. I'm not quite sure what I was expecting, because looking at how they sculpted the head into the front part of the body, it would have been hard, so I get it. I still think it's a great figure, and I think Bandai did what they could with what they had articulation wise, so I'm not really bummed about it. It's not worse than the Gamera, where the arms just kind of go but doesn't really detract from what the figure is. It's still a really awesome figure. Speaking of Gamera though, let's bring him in for size comparison, because even though he's a big figure, move the camera up. Even though Gamera's a big figure, I think it's just a big kaiju in general, because this matchup looks pretty accurate compared to the posters or in the show. And then with Gamera holding JIGER up and kind of throwing her down, this looks accurate too, even though you can't really have him picking her up. I guess you can like this, but yeah, this looks pretty accurate to the trailer too. So I mean, until we actually see them two on screen about to go head to head, even though this is kind of how it looks like, I'd say this is really, really accurate, and I'm really blown away by the figures that are coming out for the Gamera Rebirth anime. series, which is going to be 6 episodes, and I'm really stoked for that because they announced that the other 2 monsters in the lineup, we're waiting for the 5th one, is going to be Guiron and Zigra, which I'm really excited to see, especially Zigra's design, because that one looks kind of like a manta ray, and I'm loving the manta ray shark look that they gave Zigra for this time around. So yeah, that's enough about Zigra though. What I recommend you guys get this figure. If you guys are a Gamera fan, especially a big fan of the Showa Gamera films, I would definitely recommend you guys get this JIGER figure because, like I said, this figure blew me away, and I'm pretty sure the Gauss figure is going to blow you away just as equally. Even though with that figure, heads up, there's going to be a lack of articulation, but I'll save it for that review. Anyways, this has been Chanzilla 1964. This will be it for the review today. If you guys like this video, remember to hit the thumbs up down below. If you guys think I may have missed anything, be sure to leave a comment, or if you guys just want to chat it up, then leave a comment too. And then if you like what you see on the channel, please do be sure to subscribe below. But this has been Chanzilla 1964 saying until next time at the Gamera Rebirth Gauss review. Peace, peace.